The NFL draft is 10 days away, and it's projected that the first quarterback to go off the board will be Cam Ward from Miami. Louis Riddick has been hot on Ward and already has an NFL comp for him that's guaranteed to turn heads. Listen up.
My comp for Cam Ward, because of the way he plays, he reminds me of Patrick. He reminds me of Mahomes with how he can be unconventional, throw the football from all different kinds of weird angles, and then just put a bunch of horsepower on it when he needs to. And look, to me, if someone was telling me, hey, that's maybe what you're getting, I'd be pretty damn excited. Now, I'm not saying I'm exactly right, but that's my bet, that Cam Ward will have that kind of impact and play that kind of style of football in Tennessee if they happen to select him number one.
Quite the comp. Our newest teammate, Peter Schrager, in the building. Great to see you. Peter, do you agree with...
I think Lewis's words are a lot of weight. A lot of other people could say that, and we would just say, oh, whatever. But that's someone who was early in on Mahomes, who is a respected voice in the scouting community. And I think what he's trying to say is that this is the way he plays football, that he does this off-schedule stuff, and he can do the crazy thing. To me, I look at the story, and I look at the young man, and it's not Mahomes. It's more like Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was a lightly recruited player out of high school, 0 stars, got 1 scholarship opportunity, FAU, walked on at Texas Tech, transferred to Oklahoma without a scholarship, and eventually went on to be the Heisman Trophy winner. Cam Ward got 1 scholarship opportunity in Division I, didn't take it, ended up going to the University of Incarnate Word in Texas, a 7,500 student school, then went to Washington State, went 12-13, and then went to Miami and had to do it at a different path than maybe the traditional quarterback goes. Now, Patrick Mahomes is the highest of the high. The sky is the limit. Baker Mayfield also has that gambler's mentality, that I'm going to throw it in that tight hole. I'm going to go for it. That, to me, is a more accurate or a more realistic thing. Mahomes, to me, and Shannon, you know this more than anyone, that is as good as it gets right now when you're comparing a quarterback to somebody. I don't know if that's doing Cam Ward any favors.
Go ahead, Shannon.
I get what Lewis is saying because he's looking at, and I think now, Peter and Stephen A., I think now in order for the quarterback to be successful, he has to change arm angles. He has to stay off balance because the likelihood of you throwing from, let's just say you throw the ball 35 times, the likelihood of you throwing from 20 clean pockets aren't very good. A lot of times you're going to have to be off balance. A lot of times you're going to have to change slots and you throw across your body. You're going to have to be in motion, rolling left, rolling right. I do believe there's some throws, and we highlighted it when Molly was doing the VO, is that you see some of the throws that he's making, and I think that kind of reminds him of Patrick. But hell, Patrick didn't even look like Patrick Tech, and to see what he's been able to do, and he's able to get away with some things because he's so supremely arm talented. I'm going to take Lewis' word for it because, like you said, Peter, Lewis believed in Patrick Mahomes when not a whole lot of people other than Andy Reid and Brett Veach believed in Patrick Mahomes. But to say that, man, they're putting an awful lot of pressure because somebody that Tennessee, all they're going to hear is that we got the next Patrick Mahomes, and you're asking an awful lot of a guy coming in, being a guy that's won 3 Super Bowls, gone to 5, and the 2-time league MVP with a 50 touchdown and a 5,000-yard passing season under his belt.
Molly, I'm going somewhere with this. Before I answer this question, are we getting into Shedeur Sanders later on?
Oh, we were planning on.
We are not. We are not.
And
so allow me to.
Originally,
So allow me to right now. That's where I'm going with this. Here's why. Cam Ward, okay. Patrick Mahomes, that's what Louis Riddick brought up. He was the first one to bring up Patrick Mahomes when telling us what Patrick Mahomes was going to be. That was Louis Riddick, okay? So we ought to take his level of expertise in terms of his scouting and evaluation skills very, very seriously. It is earned, not given, and he certainly has earned that level of respect. Having said that, there have been people that have mentioned Cam Ward in the same breath of a Ben Roethlisberger to a Sam Darnold, not just a Baker Mayfield. Why? Because they highlighted not just his physical traits, but his off-script playmaking, and we get that part. We understand it, okay? The brother threw for 39 touchdowns, 4,313 passing yards, QBR 88.7, which was second in college football. All right, fine. He's going to be the first player taken, number 1 overall, the first quarterback. Bravo. I wish the brother nothing but the best. Why do I bring up the name Shedeur Sanders? Because I'm wondering, why should I take anybody seriously? First few weeks ago, we were talking about Shedeur Sanders possibly being the 3rd overall pick in the National Football League draft. Correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't college football been done for months, Shannon, Peter? Hasn't it been done for months?
Oh, yeah. Nothing.
Okay. So all we had was some pro day, and all we had was him go to the scouting combine and I guess take a physical or whatever, right? Assuming that's what happened, okay? And that's it. And suddenly now we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers at 21. Possibly grabbing him. The only reason we're talking about the Saints is because at number 9, Derek Carr's got the shoulder injury, okay? And you're looking at some of the quarterbacks on their roster. They got some dude, Ben DiNucci, on their roster as a quarterback, for crying out loud. I mean, Lord knows who else, okay? So what I'm saying to you is somebody needs to explain to me. I get what your point. Peter, trust you. Welcome aboard, my brother. You know we value your opinion, okay? Shannon, the Hall of Fame, you know I'm going to listen to you when it comes to some damn football. Not the Lakers, but with football all day, every day, okay? My question is this. Can somebody explain to me, if you bring up a Baker Mayfield, Peter, like you just did, okay, and we're talking about somebody with no acclaim at all, how somebody with the acclaim, who has shown he could play, who just weeks ago, months after the college football season was over, was rejected to possibly be the 2nd quarterback taking in the NFL draft, falling in the top 3 to the top 6, even have Molly on here talking about him possibly landing to the Giants, to now possibly falling, if not to the Saints, then the Steelers might need to move up a few spots from 21 to get him. How the hell that happened? Can somebody explain to me? Inquiring minds want to know when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. How that happened?
There was no NFL draft at any point at this time, and just because someone puts it in their mock draft and just because someone wants to will it to happen doesn't mean it's going to happen. Now that you're talking to teams closer to the draft, I would be lying if I came up here and I was waving a flag and saying, hey, guys, I got a team for you for Shedeur Sanders. I don't, especially not at 2 and 3. So 10 days away from the draft.
That's not what I'm asking you, Peter.
Okay,
that's not what I'm asking. I know the mock draft. I know the mock draft, but you know in football the way that you do. And seeing the kid play and seeing what they were saying about him. I'm not talking about just a mock draft. I'm talking about NFL experts, including Louis Riddick, who talked about Shedeur Sanders and how big time of a player this guy has the potential to be. What's up with the precipitous drop?
Shannon?
It happens, Stephen A. I'm a firm believer. I don't understand it, how guys rise and fall, considering they haven't played football in 4 or 5 months. I don't understand it either. But for me, Stephen A., I'm a firm believer in this. It's not how high you go. It's where you go. You go to the right situation, because sometimes a guy can go high and go to the wrong situation and he never pans out, and he goes to a correct situation and he gets better. I believe the New Orleans Saints is an ideal situation for Shedeur. I honestly believe that. It seems that these top 3 teams are going to move in another direction. Well, excuse me, the Giants and the Browns are moving in another direction, and we know Patriots don't need a quarterback. So if he goes to the Saints, I think he'll be just fine.